Good morning, Year 3, and welcome to your math lesson. Today we are starting our new topic, which is money, but we're going to get started on our do now, which is all about number sequences. So you need to fill in the sequences. Remember, your key step for completing a sequence is to find the difference between two numbers, and whether it is an ascending or descending sequence. I recommend that you pause the video now and then press play when you're ready to get going, because we're going to go through the answers straight away. Okay, here are answers. So some of the more eagle-eyed of you would have spotted that some of these are actually our times tables. So we have here, our 4 times table in our ascending order. So you should have spotted the gap here in the first one was at +4. Second sequence is again another ascending sequence with a gap of 6. Then our third sequence is a gap of 3 ascending, and then we're going into 2 descending sequences. Number 4 is everything is reducing by 4 each time, and number 7, everything is reducing by 7. It is actually our 7 times table in reverse. Right, let's have a look at those keywords for today. Remember, as always, my turn, your turn. Money, coin, note, and pound. Note how you draw a pound symbol. We draw it a nice like this, or if you're not comfortable doing that, draw it like that. It's quite fun to practice as well. It's a good way for your handwriting skills. Okay, right. Some of you might be thinking, Mrs. Turley, why are we bothering to learn about money? Because all we use is one of these. All we use is one of these. All I see my parents or adults using is one of these. This is, as one can guess, is a debit card. I put a post-it note because I want to hide my account number details. So, but it is really important that we still know the value of all these coins and what they mean. I wonder if you quickly spotted one which is not that familiar. This is a $2 coin from Hong Kong, where I used to live. And as you can see, it's got quite a cool little wavy background. It's quite, if you go on holiday to different countries with different monies, it's sometimes quite cool to keep 1 or 2 as a bit of a souvenir. Anyway, these are some common coins. I wonder if you can have seen them before, maybe have some of them of your own, or if not, you have an adult who can ask you to have a look at some of them. It's quite good just to get an idea of looking at the different shapes and sizes and how it doesn't necessarily, the size of the coin doesn't necessarily link to how much money, how much its value. You might notice here that there is one missing. There is no 2p. That's because I could not find a 2p coin in the house. Because we now so much use cards, I could not find a 2p coin in our house. Right, let's go and have a look and see if we can recognise some of these. So, what do we already know? What do we already know? What do we already know? This is, what is this coin worth? This coin is worth 50p. This one, the one I don't have in my house, is a 2p. This one is a 10p. This one is a 20p. This one here is a penny, my lucky penny. This one here is a 5p. And did you know actually 5p coins used to be a lot larger, almost the same size as the 10p. This one here is a pound. And this one here is actually a newer coin. It's a newer denomination, which is the type of coin, the amount of value of the coin. It's a £2, and these were actually recently introduced, I think in the last 10 to 15 years. I think so. So those are our coins that we should be familiar with these. We've looked at them before. I think you had a chance to look at them last year in year 2, but it's always good to have a refresh. As I say, some of you might not really use these anymore. Some of you might be lucky to get some of them underneath your pillow with the Tooth Fairy. So let's have a quick look. Here is your first independent task. So on a piece of paper, which is all you need for your math lesson now, I want you to write question 1, and then in each one of the purses here, A, B, and C, I have some pennies. So in each purse, I have 1p. I need you to count the number of 1p's are in which in purse, and then using these coins, find out which of these coins are equal value to each purse. So what is the value of the pennies in this purse, and what other coin could we almost swap the 2 pennies for? Press play to complete your task. Press play, press pause to complete your task now, and then press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, great, here are answers. So we should have seen that in A, there were 1, 2 pennies, which is the same, of course, as a 2p. In B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of course, the same as a 5p. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Mrs. Turley's made a mistake here. It is not a 10p. It is actually a 20p. Deary, deary me. Because I have 20 pennies there. Right. Give yourself a quick tick or fix for those questions. So let's have a look at the value, which is how much a coin is worth. Again, this is just going to be recap. Comparing the value of coins, which coin is greater? So which coin has a greater value? It's not going to be a greater size. It's not comparing their sizes. Which coin is greater, and how do you know? Let's think as the 2 value of these coins. This one is worth 20p. This is worth 10p. What this means is my 20p coin is worth 20 individual pennies, and my 10p is only worth 10 individual pennies. So if we were going to use one of our greater than and less than statements, we would write it as this. 20p is greater than, we remember greater than, the hungry crocodile is always going to be eating the larger number, than 10p. And the reason we know that is that there are more pennies in 20p than 10p. It's valued, it's worth more money. Right, you've got now time for another task to complete. So on your paper, you need to write question 2, A, B, C, and then question 3. So question 2 is going to ask you to compare the money using the greater than, less than, equal, oh dear Mrs. Turley, or greater than sign. So you need to look at the money each side of the circle, and using one of our symbols, less than, equal, or greater than, to compare the coins. So you're just going to write the symbol. You don't need to copy out all the money. Then for question 3, you need to draw or write the coins to make the statements below. So you would statements below correct. So you are going to be completing these less than, greater than statements. So you need to count the number of coins on each side and then write the combination of coins to make those statements correct. Pause the video now and complete this task. Great, let's have a look and see our answers. So Looking at the first one, I'm going to count the number of 2p's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 2 is equal to 12. That has 12p here. I can see here, this is 2 5p's, which is worth 10p. Therefore, I know that 12p is worth more money than 10p, so it's going to be greater than, because my hungry crocodile wants to eat more money. Here, I know each one of these little coins is a 20p. 20 at 20 is equal to 40. I'm going to count and see how many of these coins. This is a 10p. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also 40p, which means they're equal. And then finally, I have here 1, 2, 3 10p's. 3 times 10 is equal to 30. And I have 1 50p here, which means that 30p is less than 50p. Now, the question 3, draw or write coins to make the statements below correct. Any answer showing less than 30p is correct. So you could draw or write 2 10p's, 1 5p, 1 penny, anything as long as the total on this side is less than 30p, because we want to say 30p is greater than this side. On this side, we want to see any answer which is less than 25p, because 25p is going to be, this value is greater than anything on this side. Looking forward to, when you upload your work on Seesaw, looking forward to seeing those different combinations. So, exploring into the world of pounds. How many 1p's are equal to £1? How many 1p's are equal to £1? So, looking at your pound coins, if you've got one, if not thinking, look at the one on the screen. How many 1p's are in or make up £1? Thinking. I know that £1 is the same as 100 pennies. £1 is the same as 100 pennies. I need these coins times by 100 to make £1. So if £1 is the same as 100 pennies, how many pennies are equal to £2? It's going to be 200. So £2 is the same as 200 pennies. Again, just a bit of revision. So, recognizing notes, what you already know, have a quick look at this. So, here are some notes. Again, we're not using notes as much at the moment. We're mainly paying electronically by various forms or card. But these are typically the main notes that we have in circulation, which means that they're around in the shops. So we have a £20, we have a £5, and we have a £10. Some of the notes feel different because they've changed how they make them. They used to make them actually just using paper. And as you can see, all our notes in the UK have the Queen on them. And then on the back, they will have different people who are important to to British society. So here we have Jane Austen, who is a famous author, Winston Churchill, who was Prime Minister during the Second World War and after, and we have Adam Smith, who was I think he was an economist, which means he writes all about finance and money. I'm not sure, I'll check that. So these are notes. I don't have a £50 note because they are not really that frequently used. So, recapping. This note is worth £10. This note is worth £20. This note is worth £5, and this red one is the £50 note. I remember when I got one once, it was very exciting. So this is, we should already know this, and also very helpfully, they all say how much they're worth in the corner here. So what do you already know? We now need to think about the value, the difference in value in these notes. So comparing notes, which note is of greater value? How do we know? Which note is of greater value? How do you know? So I have two notes here. I have my £20 note and I have my £10 note. Oopsie daisy. My £10 note. What makes up each of these notes is that word pound. This note is worth 20 times a £1. So one of those £1 coins, well, let me get one of these again. One of these £1 coins is worth £1 coins times 20. So imagine if you have £20, it's worth a £20 note. A £10 note is worth 10 times £1. Why do you think we have notes then notes as well as having coins? Why wouldn't you just carry around £20 coins? Have a think. Well, these notes are, these coins, quite heavy actually. So imagine if you had 20 of them, they'd be quite heavy. Imagine you were lucky enough to have a couple of £20 notes. Imagine if you were lucky enough to have 5 £20 notes. You'd end up having to carry how many coins? I've got 20 in one note and I've got 5 notes. 5 times 20 is equal to 100. £100 coins would be quite heavy. That is one of the reasons why we have notes. What's my total? So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at some of the individual notes, and we're going to be working out what they are all worth and their value. Now, I can show some of them to you on the visualizer. I can't show all of them because I don't always have the money, because I don't really have many coins in the house anymore. So let's have a look at the top one. And of course, as I've said, we don't have. Oh, I do have a £2. Anyway, let's count all the notes individually and then together. What is this? What is this? This is a £2 coin. This is a £2 coin. This is a £1 coin. This is a £2 coin, and that is a 5p coin. So my step to success is count all the coins and notes individually and then add them together. So I'm going to do 2 add 2 add 2 is equal to 2, 4, 6 is equal to 6. Then I'm going to add on another 1. 6 add 1 is equal to 7. So I have £7 and I've got 5p. You could also write that in another way, but we're going to probably leave that for today. Then I can show you this one actually on my visualizer because I have all the correct change for it. Here I have £5. What do I have here? I have £1. What do I have here? 1p. This is a 50p. And this is a 20p. So I'm going to add them all together separately. 5 add 1 is equal to 6, which means I have £6. And how many pence do I have? I have 1 add 50 is equal to 51. Add another 20. I can do that in my head, I think. 50 add 20 is equal to 71. So I have £6 and 71 pence. So let's write that there. Let's have another example. Actually, let's see. I want you to work this one out for yourselves. Just think. Maybe you might want to pause the video just to have a little think. Okay, what do we have here? We have £1 and £5. 1 add 5 is equal to 6, so I have £6. And then I have 1 5p and 2 5p's. 5 add 5 is equal to 10, and I have a 10 pence, which means I have £6 and 20p. And then let's have a think of this one together. I have here, this note is worth, what's this note worth again? 20 pence. What these coins worth? I have a 2 pence and I have a 10 pence. 2 add 10 is equal to 12. What have I got here? Got another 10 pence. 12 add 10 is equal to 22. Perfect. Just like counting the money in your piggy bank. So you have got another independent task here. I want you to identify the value of the coins and notes below. So I want you to write out the individual value of each item, and then I want you to add them together. So add them as well as writing the individual value. Press pause now. You have for A, B, C, and D. Well done. I hope you found that task not too challenging. As I said, this lesson is a bit of a revision, getting us thinking about a different topic again. So, number one shows us £6 and 12 pence. You can also write money such as with this, which is our decimal point. We're going to go through that in our next session. Then you also have, then you're carrying through, you can see your different answers. Remember, you see, this is probably the tricky little cheeky one. I have £10 and I have 50 pence and I have 2 pence. Let's just write it here. £10, 50 pence and 50 pence, and obviously 2p. What is 50 add 50? 50 add 50 is equal to 100p. We know 100 pence is the same as £1. So we don't write £10 and 102p. We write £10 and not £10, £11. So remember, your coins, even if they're not a pound coin, could still easily add up to £1. So you must always make sure that you're thinking of that. If once the value of your coins go over £1, it's going to be £1 and number of pence. So haven't got enough coins to show that, but imagine, I'm just going to draw some coins on my whiteboard just to show you how that could work. So imagine I have a 50p, a 20p, another 20p, oh, and another 20p for good measure. Here I have 50, counting on adding another 20, adding 20. 50 add 20 is equal to 70. Add another 20, it's equal to 90. I'm going to add then another 20. My amount doesn't really become 110 pence. That's not what we say. We would say £1 and 10 pence. Or, as I said, we'll be looking at this next lesson, £1 and 10 pence. So just remember, if you're counting pennies and it goes over 100, we typically turn the pennies into a pound. And the final, and the others are fairly straightforward. We're just going to be adding our notes and our coins together. So if that's something you found super simple and you're thinking to yourselves, Mrs. Turley, I need more of a challenge. Well, I have a challenge for you. I have 2 challenge questions. Amir has 5 different coins in his wallet. What is the greatest amount of money he could have in his wallet? What is the least amount of money? And another question, Maria and Neil are finding the total of the notes and coins below. So they've each got a different amount and they can each see an amount of coins and they're describing how they see the amount. And you've got to decide who is correct and explain why. I'm not going to give you the answer for this. This is going to be something that you are going to complete independently. And if you've decided to do the challenge, when you upload your work onto Seesaw, we'll be able to see if you've got it correct or not. And I'll go through it at the start of the next lesson. So, new topic, please remember to upload all the work from the independent tasks that you've completed during the lesson onto Seesaw. Remember, from now on in maths, all you need is a piece of paper and a pencil to complete the lesson. Okay, looking forward to seeing your work on Seesaw. Thank you very much, Year 3.